though its fire had gone out. He couldn't be bothered to relight it. Those clouds transfixed him. They were so black, like the smoke of a brush fire, only no brush fire smoke ever rose that high up into the air. And what to make of silver clouds, bulging between the black ones, like places where polished steel shone through metal crusted with soot. He rubbed his chin, glancing down at his yard. The small, whitewashed fence contained a patch of grass and shrubs. Shrubs were dead now, every one of them. Hadn't lasted through the winter. He needed to pull them out soon, and the grass, well, the grass was still just winter thatch. Not even any weeds sprouted. A clap of thunder shook him, pure, sharp, like an enormous crash of metal against metal. It rattled the windows of the house and shook the porch boards, seeming to vibrate his very bones. He jumped back. That strike had been close, perhaps on his property. He itched to go inspect the damage. Lightning fire could destroy a man, burn him out of his land. Up here in the borderlands, so many things were unintentional tinder. Dry grass, dry shingles, dry seed. But the clouds were still distant. That strike couldn't have been on his property. The silver and black thunderheads rolled and boiled, feeding and consuming themselves. He closed his eyes, calming himself, taking a deep breath. Had he imagined the thunder? Was he going off the side as Gaffin always joked? He opened his eyes, and the clouds were right there, directly above his house. It was as if they had suddenly rolled forward, intending to strike while his gaze was averted. They dominated the sky, sweeping distantly in either direction, massive and overwhelming. He could almost feel their weight pressing the air down around him. He drew in a breath that was heavy with sudden humidity, and his brow prickled with sweat. Those clouds churned, dark black and silver thunderheads shaking with white blasts. They suddenly boiled downward like a funnel cloud of a twister coming for him. He cried out, raising a hand as a man might before a powerfully bright light. That blackness, that endless, suffocating blackness, it would take him, he knew. And then the clouds were gone. His pipe hit the porch's floorboards, clicking softly, tossing burned tabac out in a spray across the steps. He hadn't realized that he'd let it slip free. Renaud hesitated, looking up at the empty blue sky, realizing that he was cringing at nothing. The clouds were off on the horizon again, some 40 leagues distant. They thundered softly.